Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tyler, and this is Scorpio Oxman Channel. Today, Thursday, September the 17th of 2020, this was a great day to do this video on Purva Phalguni Nakshatra. Ironically, and I thought this was a perfect time, as right now the moon and the sun, both the moon and the sun are in the number 11 nakshatra Purva Phalguni, also known as Bacchus in Asterian Astrology. Before I get started today, I'm going to answer a question of one of my subscribers who emailed me a question, is a Purva Phalguni native. And I'm going to answer this person's, her question about, she asked me about career choices in what would be a good career what is a good career for Purva Phalguni natives and something of that nature. And so I have the ebook of, I highly recommend people to get the ebook, 27 Stars, Discovering Your True Self with Asterian Astrology by Jade. That's 27 Stars, Discovering Your True Self with Asterian Astrology by Jade Luna. And so I'm going to read off the part here from Bacchus, or the chapter that's all about Bacchus or Purva Phalguni regarding that. So here's to answer your question to my subscriber. And thanks again so much for all your questions to my subscribers and everyone who has emailed me. So for Purva Phalguni natives, you will be tough but fair. You will be tough but fair, and you will be sure that no one slacks in his or her workplace, whether physically or spiritually. So people slacking physically or spiritually. Vocationally, Purva Phalguni natives do best in positions of authority, autonomy, and control, which is no surprise. When placed in a one-down position, Purva Phalguni can bristle, and those higher up on the food chain often feel the discontent that comes with the suppression of Purva Phalguni's natural drive to lead. So you have a natural drive to lead, and so that's going to make the guys the people higher up to be nervous about you, because they know that they know they're gonna probably take a few steps down since you're there. So, and but for Purva Phalguni natives, self-employment suits best, and self-employment probably suits well. I'll rephrase this again. Self-employment suits Purva Phalguni well, though any position where project direction is needed provides a nice fit for those of this nakshatra. Purva Phalguni's strong affiliation with the emotional realm can also give them satisfaction as an artist or therapist. So you make a good artist or therapist. And when the leadership drive of yours is particularly strong, Purva Phalguni may gravitate toward politics or teaching. And with that talent for relationships, Purva Phalguni has talent for relationships. And some of this nakshatra can even feel particularly comfortable as a wedding planner or relationship counselor. So there's some ideas for you to answer your question. And there's also many talents and many possibilities for those born under Purva Phalguni, or also known as Bacchus in Asterian Astrology. So because they have a great desire to lead, and after all, that's the Leo energy, because Purva Phalguni, part of Purva Phalguni is in Leo, in the real natural sky. And so I'll continue on a little bit to give you a bit more info. So one would think that all this nurturing and caretaking by Purva Phalguni, which often results in taking on the burdens and problematic energies of others, you would think that it would take its toll. And it does for Purva Phalguni. For Purva Phalguni, it certainly does. You could easily find yourself becoming fatigued or burnt out and becoming fretful over small or insignificant things. At times like these, your temper can be on the edge as well, and that's the Leo energy too. So it's I want to give strong advice for my subscriber that regular rest, and even in the form of a daily nap, is important for you, very important. Take a lesson from the lioness, or of course referring to Leo, and see how she behaves. That's referring to the Leo energy. She takes care, the Leo takes care of all of her responsibilities, but makes sure to get her rest. So, and that's a general very important thing for everybody who has to work hard in that, and who has a huge job as well. As the periodic rest, particularly throughout the day, re-energizes you in general. And I know that's particularly important for the water signs too, such as Scorpio. And so there's to answer a bit of the question. So this book, this ebook, which I would recommend, is by Jade Luna, and the name of it is, yeah, I'll get the name up here. Yeah, 27 Stars, Discovering Your True Self with Asterian Astrology, from Dr. Michael Santangelo and Jade Luna. So that's where that information was from. But of course, in Asterian Astrology, Purva Phalguni is referred to as Bacchus is the Greek name. For Asterian Astrology is the Greek version of Vedic astrology. Okay, so I want to show my viewers the proof of why I believe in that it's known that both the moon and sun are right now in Purva Phalguni. So I'm going to show you the chart. So I'll get up the screen here. Okay. So here is MasteringTheZodiac.com, which shows the real natural sky as it really is. So here is the Eastern time zone in North America, September 17, and it's just after 1 p.m. this afternoon. So here is the moon and sun. The moon and the sun is at this location right at the beginning of Virgo. Okay, so here's the sun and moon, almost in the same spot right here at the beginning of Virgo. So I'm going to show you the chart where that shows the outlining of the 27 Nakshatras. Okay. Okay, and here it is right here. So here's the cursor that I'm going to point out with. So the moon, the sun and moon are located right here. As you can see, that's number 11 Nakshatra, which is Purva Phalguni. So there you have it. And I'm just going to repeat this again, as I always like to do. Aries begins right here. If Aries begins right here, then so does Ashwini. It's that simple. So if Aries begins right here in this spot, then so does Ashwini. So if you count the Nakshatras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there you have it. So that's the proof that shows right there on the Mastering the Zodiac chart, that would show the proof that Purva Phalguni is located right there in that in that location. So that's what I wanted to show. Okay, so right now I'm going to read off to you a bit about Purva Phalguni, a bit more information. And I gave someone asked me about career options and what would work best for Purva Phalguni natives. And so this is Jade Luna's other book, which is the paperback, Asterian Astrology, The Lost System of Alexander the Great, Volume 1 by Jade Luna. Okay, so I'm going to read off. So here on page 88 is about Purva Phalguni, also known as Bacchus, which is called Bacchus. But in this case, I'll refer it to as Bacchus, or the nakshatra as Bacchus. So Bacchus was the great Olympian god of wine, vegetation, pleasure, and festivity. He was depicted as either an older bearded god or a pretty effeminate, long-haired youth. His symbols included the thyrsos, which is a pine cone tip staff, drinking cup, leopard, mink, and fruiting wine. He was usually accompanied by a troupe of satyrs and Menades, which is a female devotees or female devotees. Bacchus was the youthful, beautiful, but riotous god of wine. He is called both by Greeks and Romans. Bacchus, the noisy god, which was Bacchus, that is, the noisy god, which was originally a mere epithet or surname of Bacchus, but does not occur till after the time of Herodotus. The common story, which makes Bacchus a son of Semele by Zeus, runs as follows. Juno, jealous of Semele, visited her in the disguise of a friend or an old woman, and persuaded her to request Zeus to appear to her in the same glory and majesty in which he was accustomed to approach his own wife, Juno. When all entreaties to desist from this request were fruitless, Zeus at length complied and appeared to her in thunder and lightning. Semele was terrified and overpowered by the sight, and being seized by the fire, she gave premature birth to a child. Zeus saved the child from the flames. Various epithets which are given to the god refer to that occurrence, such as Purigines, Merophenes, Merotraphes, and Eagina. Okay, so so that's the history of Bacchus, the ancient Roman, the Greek history of Greek mythology, but it's definitely the truth. The nakshatra of Bacchus. Bacchus is the symbol of creation, and Bacchus brings union and procreation on all levels. This nakshatra symbol is a bed or hammock, a time of rest and relaxation. This star speaks of marriage. People of this star rely much on their inherent luck. They are very relaxed and happy-go-lucky in their life. Bacchus people are blessed with pleasant marital life and children. They enjoy family life as much as they enjoy social life. Natives of this nakshatra are very fond of parties, picnics, and social events. Bacchus or Purva Phalguni people are endowed with robust health and passionate nature. They are also inclined toward fine arts. This nakshatra produces many brilliant artists. They produce many brilliant artists. Okay, so, and I'm going to read off the final, the general information. So those who have a sun or moon in Purva Phalguni or Bacchus. Bacchus indicates someone who is carefree, attractive, sensual, affectionate, sociable, kind, generous, and loyal. They are good communicators and influencers of others. They are artistic and relaxed in their approach. However, some shadow sides about them is that they can also be lazy and vain. They have a need to be in relationships, and family life is important to them. Okay, and on a final note, the nakshatra of Purva Phalguni, or also known as Bacchus, it is ruled by Venus, the god, and the god is Bacchus, or Purva Phalguni. The nature of this nakshatra is human, so a human natured. The animal representative is the mink, or some say the rat as well. And the body part that is ruled, it says that the body part that it rules is of the right hand, So yeah, apparently each of the nakshatras, of the 27, each of them rules a body part. And that's kind of similar to how, they say that Taurus rules the neck, Aries rules the head. And so that kind of thing, the nakshatras do as well for that. So thanks again. So yeah, this was the Asterian Astrology, The Lost System of Alexander the Great, Volume 1 by Jade Luna. So thanks again for tuning in today, guys. And this was about Purva Phalguni Nakshatra, also known as Bacchus in Asterian Astrology. All the best, guys, and God bless. Thanks again.